Hello, this is Clean Coach Carly. I'm the staff nutritionist for Healthy Habits Living. And today I'm talking about natural solutions for pain management. Pain in the whatever. So we experience pain in lots of different parts of our bodies, from a headache down to joint pain or intestinal cramping and pain. It's kind of an odd thing that our pain has increased over the last couple of decades because we are increasingly less mobile, more sedentary, and do less physical labor. So you would think, well, we're not going to be in pain because we're not moving around. But it's quite the opposite. The more sedentary we are, the more pain. And that is because our bodies structurally and from an endocrine system aspect are not meant to be sedentary. So what do we do to treat pain naturally as it comes? Well, of course, we have all of the physical things that we can do, like stretching or massage. But what about the other alternatives? Now, what is advertised on TV would be pop some Tylenol or some aspirin or some ibuprofen or whatever. Those are known as NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications. The problem is they come with a lot of side effects, including indigestion and GERD, headaches, dizziness, drowsiness, peptic ulcers, because those NSAIDs are actually destroying the cells in the small intestines, increased blood pressure, risk of heart attack and stroke, loss of balance, nausea, vomiting, stomach aches, and difficulty concentrating. So if you want to avoid all of those things, well, what are you going to do? Well, I used two things when I was in chronic pain. I was in chronic pain for 6 years. I had ripped a disc in my back, but I didn't know it. And I had an MRI and it didn't show it. So I was in pretty good physical shape. But because of the injury, the inflammation in my body just rose and rose and rose, and I couldn't get a handle on it. So two of the things that I used were curcumin, which comes from turmeric, and boswellia, which comes from the boswellia tree or the frankincense tree. So I've talked a lot about turmeric. Now, turmeric is a root, so it grows underneath the ground, and the extract that helps with pain and inflammation is called curcumin. Now, boswellia comes from the frankincense tree or the boswellia tree, and you know frankincense, gold, and myrrh at Christmas time. Well, frankincense is the extract of the tree, and it comes from the sap. So in order to get that medicinal or pain relieving part, you have to tap the tree, drain the sap, and extract those helpful components. And along with that, you get the essential oil known as frankincense. Now, there are a lot of frankincense trees and lots of species, and some are endangered because of over-farming. Terry Naturally, which makes Bosmed 500, which is what I use for my back pain and intestinal pain, they use only sustainable frankincense. So you don't have to worry about being over-farmed or that you're contributing to any kind of problems with the farming. So you have the frankincense, and the most medicinal part of the boswellia is called AKBA, acetyl 11 keto boswellic acid. Now, why do you want to know that? Well, like I've said before, for turmeric, you and I could go to the store and get some turmeric root and grind it up and put it in a capsule and take it. But that's not the part that relieves the inflammation in your body. The curcumin is an extract that has to be taken out of the whole turmeric root in order to be standardized and also condensed down so that it gets in the doses in your body that you need it for inflammation. Here's the same thing for boswellia. You can go get your boswellia extract, and within that, there's going to be lots of different types of plant nutrients. We call those phytonutrients. Well, one of them, which is just called straight boswellic acid, is actually not very helpful and can be pro-inflammatory. So it can actually cause more inflammation. So Terry Naturally, on the other hand, uses the AKBA, the acetyl 11 keto boswellic acid, that has been studied and shown to be helpful for inflammation. So they leave out the just straight boswellic, because they know that's not helpful, and they make sure that there's at least 10% AKBA in their Bosmed. So that's a standardized extract. So just like with turmeric, you want to make sure you're getting curcumin content. With boswellic acid, with boswellia, you want to make sure you're getting AKBA, okay, and the acetyl 11 keto boswellic acid. So make sure, and you get the standardized extract. So that's what you're going to get in Bosmed. So here's what AKBA has been studied for. And remember, this is the helpful 11 keto boswellic acid. It's been studied for osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, IBS, leaky gut, irritable bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, which is also called UC. So you notice a lot of those things are digestive. So I always recommend both curcumin and boswellia to anyone who has these long-term gut inflammation issues. Now, of course, you have to change your diet and maybe take some herbs to get rid of any infections that are in there. But to reduce the inflammation, these two things are top of my list. So the question is, can I take them together? I'm so glad you asked, because you know the answer is yes. So curcumin extra strength made by Terry Naturally has both of them in it. It has curcumin, standardized extract, and AKBA boswellia, standardized extract. It also has a couple of other things like DLPA that work quickly, like on absorption for pain, and work on the pain receptors. So I also recommend curcumin extra strength for acute things, like you just bonked your head, or you have a headache, or you just pulled a muscle. So acute, I usually recommend a pretty high dose, 3 to 6 tablets. And then for chronic issues that you've had for a long time and that you're just working on resolving, I recommend you titrate up and then get to your maintenance dose and stay there. So curcumin, you want to make sure that you get that standardized extract, and you're always going to get that in the Terry Naturally products. And it's the BCM 95, also known as curcugreen. And then with the boswellia, you want to get the AKBA, which is what Terry Naturally uses as well. So as always, at Healthy Habits Living, we are here to give you the most up-to-date information on how to address your health concerns in a natural way that gives you results and lets you live optimally. We're here to help you get healthy so you can stay healthy and be healthy.